Okay, so Bev, question.
Fine. Hey guys, how we doing? Can you hear me? Good. Hey, so Leadville, Tiny House Leadville, that's right there in the downtown area of Leadville?
Yeah, it's an old mining town, a Wild West town. So we're right on 2nd Street, which used to be the old State Street, where all the gunslinging and saloons and brothels and all that stuff were. So I think actually our RV park is probably right where the brothels used to be. None of that stuff going on right now, though.
Okay, so that's not on the brochure in the lobby of things to see. Okay, gotcha.
We do have a marijuana dispensary next door. That's not on our brochure, but they actually have a discount. So we got the map of the park from the marijuana dispensary next door. They had a 15% discount for any of our guests. And I said, wait a second, we don't even have a copy of the map. Thank you.
Nice. So literally you are the highest tiny house community in the nation. So yeah. So that building that I saw there, the old red, is that like an old courthouse or an old municipality building? Looked like there was a big, tall building right there, old school building.
Oh,
Pastime bar.
I'm sorry?
There was the Pastime bar, and then next to the Pastime bar is the old Pioneer, and all those were saloons, and there was like gambling that was going on, like underground gambling that was going on back in the day, back when the Silver Rush was there, and there was a big fire, and because there was all, it was a big fire, it took down everything except for the Pioneer and the other, the Pastime that Joe was talking about.
Nice. So Jeremy, you came onto the scene and, with Tiny House Siesta, how is it you got from Sarasota, Florida out to Colorado? I mean, how did that transition? How did that happen?
So I remember when we were in, was it the Chattanooga, the Tiny House Festival that you held in Chattanooga with the railroad tracks?
Yeah.
We were at that event, and during that, Hurricane Irma was going through.
Right.
And you probably saw me. I was white as a ghost, freaking out about the hurricane coming through. And that's when I decided that it was probably time to diversify. So I didn't want to have all my eggs in one windstorm basket. So
gotcha.
I decided, let's go look for somewhere else. And I was on my way to a ski trip in Colorado and stumbled across, made an appointment to look at a couple different places. And this was one of them. And it was just a charming old town, mining town. You have those beautiful views, Mount Massive, Mount Elbert, and we're within all these amenities. So I kind of like the idea of Siesta Key being #1 beach in the U.S. and Leadville's claim to fame, it's the highest city in the United States. So it's kind of a cool little unique selling proposition for it. And I like the idea that, there's a little bit of diversity so we don't have something happens at the, let's say a hurricane comes through or something, we still have another location. So working on one right now in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. So Joe will probably decide to come home to Pennsylvania for that one because I think he loves the mountains and Poconos and all that stuff. So we're looking for a couple more places. Zoning's always an issue. So the nice thing about both Siesta and Leadville is that these are grandfathered in, essentially grandfathered in parks that were there before zoning. So
gotcha. So Joe, were you out in Leadville already, or did you move out there when Jeremy started when Jeremy got the property out there?
Yeah, Joe is.
You're breaking up pretty bad. I can't get you.
Joe is my partner Megan on the Leadville property. It's Joe is Megan's uncle, and he volunteered to go out there and be our manager.
Yeah,
Gotcha. I think we have a bad connection with Joe, unfortunately.
Yeah, in the mountains sometimes the internet isn't the greatest. So
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So But well, cool. Well, we really appreciate you doing the tours, and yesterday with Tiny House Siesta, and
So
and then
just
today
tell
with
us how
Leadville.
people can follow you on this tiny house vacation. So how many resort do you have, Jeremy?
So we have Tiny House Leadville, and is the mountain one, and then the beach one is Tiny House Siesta. But if you wanted to look at like rates and availability and things like that, anybody can go to tinyhousevacation.com, and that's going to have all the locations.
I did not even know that. tinyhousevacation.com. Okay, and that has both locations on it.
Yep.
Very, very good. And then on Instagram, it's Tiny House Siesta and Tiny House Leadville.
That's correct. Yep.
On IG. All right, great. Well, fantastic.
After all this pandemic, people are wanting to get out and about and go do some neat stuff. So Leadville's opening up June 1st. Florida's already opened up. So for people that want to get out and about and do something, they're all trapped up in their houses. It might be a fun thing to experience a tiny house in person.
Definitely.
Well,
yeah.
Finn and I can say from firsthand experience, Tiny House Siesta is a beautiful place, beautiful houses, beautiful location, and we were there for maybe about a week, and we had a great time. Yeah, it was a wonderful time. We had a blast. Just the beach was so close. I think the only thing I didn't enjoy was that gluten-free bakery right down the street. Finn just insisted we go eat there.
What's wrong with that?
I'm not a fan of gluten-free. What can I say? It's not my thing.
There's an ice cream shop a couple doors down from that now, so.
Man, I tore that place up.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. And Joe, thank you so much. You spent your Sunday with us.
Thanks a lot, you guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, go and follow them, Tiny Leadville on Instagram
Thank you.
and Tiny Siesta on Instagram.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. All right, so next we got
Carly.
Hello, Carly.
Hey!
Yay.
Hey. Wait. We're getting a tour of the house?
If you want, I'm at the house and it's clean.
Oh, we're getting two performances? What are we doing today? What are we doing now?
I thought we were just doing the.
Are we doing tour?
The tour.
We're doing a tour?
Yeah, we're doing a tour.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
How are you?
we're good. How are you?
We are good.
We're doing great. We're doing great.
You know Stoner.
How's Heather? Oh, there she is. Hi, Heather.
Fun fact: Heather's birthday was yesterday. Everybody wish Heather a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Heather. Happy birthday to Heather. Happy birthday to you.
Thank
Yeah, I didn't know. Otherwise, we
we
don't
are
have her.
We are from the Odyssey School. I'll take you outside so you can see a little bit too. We are currently staying at a family's house in Lake Havasu. So we are enjoying Memorial Day weekend, as I hope you guys are too. This is
Oh yeah, we're having a blast.
right.
All right. So I'm gonna play your video tour that you sent it to us earlier, and then we'll come back for the Q&A.
Sure. Yeah.
Ready?
That sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
If you want us to do it live, we can do it, or you can play that one. That's cool too.
Oh, which one you want to do?
It seems like we're working okay. It's working good.
Okay,
you want to do it live?
let's do it live then. Yeah,
we'll
go ahead.
do it live because this is going good. It's running good.
Don't jinx
All right.
it.
Yeah, let's not jinx anything. It's working.
All right.
All right, so
Let me-
I'm gonna let you do the tour now.
All right, we're gonna put
Perfect.
ourselves on mute and you do your thing.
Wonderful. All right, guys. Thank you so much. My name's Carly, and you saw Heather back there. We are the Odyssey Schoolie. Like I was saying before, we are in Lake Havasu visiting some family right now. So we're in the beautiful, as you can probably see, beautiful Lake Havasu. So this is the Odyssey Schoolie. We are 38 feet long. It's a 1999 Bluebird school bus. We've got 900 watts of solar on the roof. We've got over 150 gallons of fresh water, about 75 gallons of gray water. We use a nature's composting toilet. We can maybe see this way. We put an awning on the side. We're out here to have some fun. So we're from Michigan. We moved in about almost 2 years ago now and been full time a while now, actually. So a little bit of specs on the outside. Like I said, a 1999 Bluebird. We painted her pink. Trying to figure this out. Yep. One of our most recent latest installs was the door here. We put an Anderson storm door on it, so it's got a screen on it. So that really helps with, airflow and stuff like that. But we absolutely love schoolie life. It kind of suits us to be able to travel around. And I took a job in Tucson, so we've been in Arizona now since November. So we are getting used to the heat. And, we say that summer 2020 is the summer of tan. So we're a couple Michigan gals, a couple Midwestern gals that are trying to get tan here. But I'll take you inside. When you first walk in, we kept most of the cab, the same. We didn't do a lot of differences here. As you can see, I didn't really mess with it much. I wanted it to keep the nostalgic of the school bus. So, but this is what you get. We have 2 little chihuahuas on board. That's Leo, and the black one is Lily back there. We've got our couches that pull out to a bed here. There's storage underneath. And if you've met us in recent years, you'll notice that this layout is kind of a lot different. We lived in the bus for about 6 months before we realized, hey, this doesn't really work for us. We separated the 2 spaces from the social space and our living space, our bedroom space. We added this wall back here. So I completely redid the kitchen this last summer in Michigan when we were there. I tore it out. I made an L shape, as you can see. We kept the mini fridge, things like that. But one of our main things that we really were finding, we had a tiny little RV sink. That's the word I was looking for. And this is our kitchen here. It's kind of hard to see, but we had a little tiny RV sink, and we upgraded to quite a large, double XL kind of thing. And that has made our transition from house life to bus life just a little bit easier as we, try to function. But that's the front of the space. Being in Arizona, we've got the curtains closed, and then we've got Reflectix, because let's face it, you're not going to keep a bus pretty cool without some sort of Reflectix or a styrofoam insulation, especially when you kept all 28 windows. So we're really enjoying ourselves here. The dogs absolutely love bus life. This is their bus, really, honestly. So we're in the kitchen right now. As you can see, like I said, it's an L-shaped once we get past the couches. And then what we really enjoyed was splitting, like I said, that space between our bedroom space and our social space. So we made this half wall here, and I'll walk you back. We have motion censored lights that come on. So you can see we added our own composting toilet, and we added a shower. And so real bus life is that that we are going to have multi-purpose. So when we're just parked at a family's house, this tiny storage shower area becomes where our clothes bin goes. Real life here, guys. And then as we walk further back, wait for the motion sensor light to come on, we've got our bedroom here. So on either side, left and right, we have clothes storage and pantry storage. And then our bedroom, which we most recently redid. Try to get the glare out. We most recently redid. So we've got our mini split here on the back. That has done us wonders. A lot of people ask us about that, and is it enough to cool my whole bus? Maybe. It's a 12,000 BTU Pioneer mini split. I've mounted the condenser outdoor unit on the roof, actually, and then we've got the indoor unit obviously right here. And for us, with having that half wall like almost directly in the middle of the bus, it keeps this back area super cool. You can see we have our charge controllers, and we have all of our solar stuff here. We have one more window after this wall of bus, and that's where we hide all of our generators and all of our, garage stuff. So we've really enjoyed bus living so far. Like I said earlier, we've got 900 watts of solar. We've got like 150 gallons of fresh water on board. So when we need to, we can boondock for 2 weeks, and with the addition of the shower, unfortunately, as many of us know, with bus life, this whole pandemic has really altered a lot of the way that we used to do things. So when we were in Tucson, this whole thing obviously hit, and we stayed on BLM land for almost 4 weeks, right? A little over 4 weeks. And we really tested our boondocking skills there and how we were able to live in the middle of the desert, with just limited supplies. So we were able to take showers a couple times a week. We had our own shower. We didn't have to rely. A lot of people do Planet Fitness and different gyms and things like that, but we were able to, although it's a small space and although we do have to conserve water and, not have it on the entirety of your shower, we were able to live out in the desert for over a month, and with no hookups. We just relied on the solar. But I will say that was before it started getting hot. A couple days into the end there, we had to have the generator on so that we could use the air conditioner and stuff like that. But we really enjoy bus life. It has been interesting to see our lives transition from house life and really understanding your footprint. We've noticed that obviously with water storage and things like that, we understand what it takes to be off grid. So that's what we enjoy most, I think. But that's kind of what we got.
All right.
Cool.
Perfect.
Cool. So
open it up to some questions.
Absolutely.
So now how you have a full size bus. She's 37, 40 feet?
It's 38 feet, yeah.
38 feet. Very good. Hey, Heather, birthday girl. Birthday girl. And you all live with, in addition to yourselves, you all have 3 dogs?
2.
We have 3, yep. So we have Miss Bailey here.
Right.
She's a boxer collie mix. She's special, but we've learned to love her and get along with her. We've got our Chihuahua here. His name is Leo.
Yes, you did. Yes.
We've got one more. Her name is Lily, and so we've got 3 dogs on board.
Was it hard to have 3 dogs in a tiny space?
It's challenging, but we've all adjusted very well. Mostly it's just not having the luxury of having a backyard to just kind of open the door and let them go. It's a whole operation to get them all tied up and make sure that they have their space. So
right.
We've all adjusted very well in figuring that out. So
is there anything unique or different or special you did inside the house, inside the bus for the dogs? Was there anything?
The dogs have their own crated area, and it's in the back. It helps now that there's the wall divider that we've installed between the kitchen and the bedroom space. Beforehand, if we had anybody over, they could kind of see. We had that shotgun aisle down the middle. And
right.
The dogs could always see and hear. I mean, they can still hear minus the wall, but the dogs could at least see the people, and they are people. These dogs love people, and that's But when you come into someone's bus and the dogs are barking, you get that impression that your dogs are mean, or it's just overwhelming in general. So having that wall there kind of creates that separation that they need for their own private space. It's like their room, and they feel comfortable back there. But we love having our dogs. They're our kids. We absolutely love them, just like kids. And so we've learned to get them acclimated, and honestly, this is their bus. At this point, we're just drivers,
I love that.
That's funny. So, you all live full-time on your bus.
Absolutely.
You have full off-grid capabilities. You have pets on board, but you also make a living traveling and living on your bus, correct?
Yes. So when we first got onto the road, we kind of did odd jobs. For when we first met you guys, we were doing odd jobs all over the place. We, helped at concession stands in RV shows. We helped other people build their bus. We did a lot of random things. But most recently, I accepted a position in Tucson. That's why we've been so stationary in Tucson. I'm a radiation therapist by trade. Other than playing music, obviously, I
didn't know that.
went to school for radiation therapy. So I landed a position in Tucson where I'm putting in time right now for my resume. Obviously, I needed full-time experience. So I'm doing that for a year, maybe 18 months, and then I will start doing travel radiation therapy. So, hospitals will contract me out for a couple of months, and just like travel nursing, stuff like that. So I'm working my way towards that. I think that the goal has always been to kind of travel. We never knew where we wanted to settle down. Heather's from Indiana, I'm from Michigan. And although we may love parts of living in those places, we never really knew about anywhere else. And so we're really thankful to be able to travel and be able to experience these things and figure out where we want to be long term. So a schoolie life was like, hey, we can build something our own, make it cool, and for a relatively low budget. I think we're between the 30,000 all and done. I mean, that's full solar capabilities, that's
Nice.
full everything. So we're
Oh, that's so
around,
sweet.
I would say middle of the road, all in. And so now we're
That's
just
nice.
reaping the benefits. I've got a couple of odd end projects, but nothing to the point where I have to, completely rebuild or build anything. So we're just reaping the benefits of living on the road and experience in life.
Okay, lovely.
Nice.
And just tell people about your where can they go and follow you on your music and and Instagram and things like that, so they can go and follow.
Yeah, so we both have we have our Instagram for our bus, which is the Odyssey Schoolie, at the Odyssey Schoolie, and we try to post creative content on there and show you what we're doing. And then we have my music. I also played music in Michigan for the last 10 years, so I've built quite a following there, and that's at Carly Davidson, like the motorcycle Harley Davidson, but with a K. So I'm still playing music out here and having a great time. Unfortunately, with all the crazy that's happening, I've had to put it on the back burner, but I've learned that virtual streaming is the way to go, and we're so humbly and thankful to be able to be alive here with you guys today and to participate. And thank you guys for having us.
No, thank
you so much. Thank you, Holly. And Heather.
Real quick, Heather, you have and I might be wrong in this, but don't you have like a hair studio or something on board? Yeah. Don't you do hair on board?
Yeah,
Aren't you a hairstylist on board with that? I mean, you have that side hustle, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that a business that you do? Yeah.
So I'm licensed in Michigan, and sometimes I'll do hair for people while I'm on the road. Yeah, I have my stuff with me. There's not like a designated spot. It's kind of one of those I can set up anywhere and make it happen. So
yeah, I need to hook up with you. All
right.
I'm getting
up. The Odyssey School. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Y'all take care. Bye.
Have a good day, guys.
All right, and to you. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye now. Wow, that is fun. Okay, our next guest. Who's this? The guy behind you.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, is this it?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Jump in.
All right,
Chris,
so
jump in.
Chris, come here.
Oh my God.
Come right here. Right here.
Be a sandwich.
All right, so how's this for oh Jesus. I'm gonna do this. How about that?
Oh, okay. All right.
So much for social distancing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. 6 feet apart.
New York, New Jersey.
Oh wow.
And you were a lot bigger than I thought. That sounds dodgy.
Sorry, this is okay. That's just so awkward with the beat.
All right, so everybody, this is Chris Shaptic. He owns Tiny Industrial.
Yep.
We met Chris at our New Jersey Tiny House Festival. He had his own personal tiny house on wheels that he made himself.
Yeah.
And two things caught me right off the bat with Chris. One, he had this amazing skateboard lamp where the trucks, if you know anything about skateboards, the things that hold the wheels to the skateboard, he modified that where the wheels were now light bulbs, and it was a lamp up on the wall. It was amazing. I think Alex Eves from Reuse, because you can, is now plagiarizing that that look, but that's my personal opinion.
That's all right. That's all right.
But we're all friends here. We'll
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
we'll take Alex out.
Okay, yeah, we will.
I know a guy up in Jersey.
You know somebody up there?
I know somebody.
All right.
But that's how we met, Chris. And then, did you have Tiny Industrial at that time, or did that start afterwards?
No, man, you guys have been like the catalyst for a pretty drastic change in my life, because that show was like the beginning of Tiny Industrial, and that's when I decided to kind of, kick my corporate career to the curb and build tiny houses full time. So you guys are responsible for that.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I know it's a good thing.
I hope that worked out for you.
The festival that launched 1,000 ships.
Well, well, and you had Mike from Navigation to Nowhere. You guys met him there too.
Yeah. That was an amazing event from the standpoint of all the introductions that were made up in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole nother world up there that we met.
Right.
Because we were kind of like in our own little world down here in the Southeast, just doing our things with tiny houses.
Right.
And then we went up there and it was more like, hey, an whole thing. So we got a video here that Chris, it's a pre-recorded video that Chris has done, kind of did it on the road, driving down from New Jersey.
I'm doing a live commentary on this.
And he's going to do a live commentary. You'll hear him talking from here about his video. And I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
All right, there we go.
Or not.
No, 1 second.
It's going.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So this is one of my builds. I'm currently in Georgia with it, driving it down to Florida to a customer. It is a gypsy wagon style. I've been building a lot of these over the past couple of years. This one happens to have a natural wood exterior. That's what the client wanted. They're always fully customized to whatever the client spec is. It's built on a 10-foot by 6-foot utility trailer, and weighs in at around 2,200 pounds. People are always curious about how much these things weigh. So it's got an aluminum roof. And yeah, I usually use these 4x8 sheets of aluminum for the roof, so they overlap. There's 3 sheets of those up there. And then I try to, make the exterior obviously look nice, and, do a little bit of trim work on there. Again, this is customer specific. Usually these things wind up being painted. So planters on the back. My daughter kindly gathered those flowers up the other day. This is when it was still up in upstate New York. And that's my location up there. That's where my tiny house resides as well. So really pretty up there. This one's going to Florida, so it needed an air conditioner and a 5,000 BTU air conditioner cools down.
Do your thing.
Cools down a small structure like this pretty effectively. Dutch doors, always a thing in my builds. They're a little Apparently. Do we have audio now? How about now? Do we have audio? All right. If anybody like missed something there, full bed platform, seating area, live edge table, air conditioning, storage underneath the seating area. That's a great place to put like bed linens, towels, and so forth. Yeah, it kind of integrates it all. You got a couple outlets. You got a couple of outlets there. Yeah, Dutch door, as I was saying, Shishugiyaband, 9 windows. Was it 9? Did I say
9?
eight?
Not 9 windows. She said 9. Yeah.
9, right.
Said
Okay,
9.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's got-
12-volt wall sconces.
Yeah, a sink. The table, incidentally, or this used to be a table, it was taken out of one of the old Catskillian resorts. We're talking like Dirty Dancing type stuff here.
No kidding.
So yeah, I always like to, as you were saying with the skateboards, I always like to repurpose stuff. So that's an old table out of one of the old Catskills resorts.
Nice.
Now a kitchen counter. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice.
That racket is for killing bugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad we clarified
I come
bugs.
with it.
Oh, we got the
That's nice.
yeah, the what is that, black walnut
That's
table, live edge table.
Nice.
Yeah, you
That's
always want to put, when you have a space that's small, you want it to be nice. You
Right.
you don't want to put like some plasticky stuff
that
in
way.
there. And that's why I use like good flooring material too. I don't want like the real plasticky looking laminates and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, there's the AC unit, Dutch door.
Your houses, they've always had a hands-on custom craftsmanship
Thank you.
kind of look, and unique designs too, like that big teardrop space thing that you had, that big in Virginia Tiny House Festival. That thing was wild, man.
The metal thing?
That was
Little
crazy.
Wing. That thing was called Little Wing. Yeah.
Man, that looked like something Howard Hughes would have been test flying.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
yeah. That was
Yeah,
fun. That was a fun build.
That was beautiful. So this is really, really nice. And then there's storage up underneath the bed. It looked
Tons
like.
of it. Yeah. The client's going to put a like an RV toilet underneath there. This is going to be a best guest space in somebody's backyard, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the plan.
Very nice.
It's light enough and small enough to certainly travel with. Like I was saying before, is about 2,200 pounds total. Interior headroom is about 6 feet 5 inches, so I can stand up comfortably in there. I'm a tall guy. And yeah, it's another fun build. Hopefully the customer will like it. They'll get it tomorrow.
How much for something like this cost?
Yeah.
Just a shell.
So you're looking at around right around $15,000 for what you're seeing here.
Nice.
But a shell. Yeah, there's my other tiny house in the background there.
Okay. The one that we saw.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, so as you see it here, right around 15, and a shell probably sub 10,000, sort of like $8,000 to $10,000. Shell implying that you're going to be doing like the insulation, the electrical, and all that sort of stuff. So
Very,
Gotcha.
very affordable.
we're going back to full screen here.
I think so.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are.
However,
So how
my
do
wife does
people hit you up if they want to
Yeah.
have you build one for them?
So a couple things. Yeah. Not only do I build the tiny houses, but I'm also a tiny house author. So I've got 2 books out at the moment.
You have one yet? No?
No, I don't have one to hold up.
Oh,
I wish I did. But I have 2 books. One is Living Your Tiny House Dream. It's available on Amazon right now. And I have another one coming out in 2 months. It's called The Joy of Tiny House Living. That's book number 1. Building Your Tiny House Dream is book number 2.
Nice.
That's coming out in 2 months. And that's where I actually teach you, or people, or you guys if you want to, how to build one of these gypsy wagons.
Great.
So it's step by step. People are always asking me for plans. I was like, you know what? I want to do one better and do an entire book on it. So,
There you go.
So
Nice.
that's it.
Nice.
But Tiny Industrial, everything runs under that label. You can see my Instagram right there on the screen. But I have Tiny Industrial at youtube.com, and I've got an Etsy store called Tiny Industrial. I'm on Facebook. And Chris at tinyindustrial.com if you want to reach out, ask any questions, find out more. And yeah, I'd be happy to build a tiny house for you.
Fantastic.
How quick can
Now-
you build a unit like that?
Yeah, so a small one like that can be built in roughly 5 weeks or so, 5 to 6 weeks.
Nice.
If it's
Very nice.
Yeah, that's for like, what you saw in the video there. If you want just more of a shell, that's like a 4-week turnaround, based on scheduling, obviously.
So now, how long is the trailer base on this one here that we're looking at?
Yeah, so that one is a 10-foot trailer, about
Okay.
6 feet wide,
All right.
6.5 feet wide.
What's it rated? Weight-wise?
Oh yeah, always, I don't skimp on the trailers, and I get the ones with the 15-inch rims and the 3,000-pound axle.
Right.
So these structures weigh in at roughly 2,000 pounds.
Okay.
So people are always like, I have a such and such car. Can I tow one of these? Well, if you can tow 2,000 pounds with your car, yes, you can. Overall height is about 8 feet, so you don't have any clearance issues with like getting under bridges or anything. You can make it through most drive-through locations because they're usually 9 feet.
Right. So you're saying the finished house
Yes.
is around $2,000 in weight, 2,000 in weight?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. And one thing I'd like to just interject here, that does not include once they put in all their gear,
Right.
or
Correct.
is the whole thing rated max at 2,000?
No, the axle on the trailer is rated at 3,000.
Okay. All right.
So I deliver the house, you throw your stuff in it, you've still basically got you can add another 800 pounds of stuff to the interior before you get even close to the
Okay.
axle rating.
So let's just say somebody had it up there at 2,800 pounds, 3,000 pounds. But in your professional opinion, and not being held liable, what would you say is the smallest tow vehicle somebody could pull this with?
Yeah, so there's two versions of that answer, right? So either you have a vehicle that can tow 4, 5, 6,000 pounds, great, then you're good to go. If you're getting close to if your car can tow 3,000 pounds, let's say, and you wind up with a 2,700 pound camper behind it, that's getting really close to the tow capacity. It's not going to be a good experience. What I would suggest is you can add electric brakes to these trailers. So if you have a car that can't really tow all that much, I would definitely advise adding electric brakes to the trailer, because then, towing isn't so much about, being able to pull the structure. It's about being able to stop safely, and a lot of people don't necessarily realize that. So once you get the brakes installed in the trailer, you're taking a lot of that strain and stress that the tow vehicle has on pulling and stopping a house like that, and you're helping out your tow vehicle by adding brakes to the trailer, so the whole everything hits the brakes at the same time.
Gotcha. Fantastic.
Highly recommend it.
Yep. We had a Gypsy for a while, and we pulled it a few times with our Honda CR-V.
Okay.
And I remember, and we had a heavy-duty tow package. We had a 10,000 pound tow package that we had it put just right down the road from here, where we're at. We had them put that thing on there because it came from the factory, that little teeny.
Yeah, that little wimpy thing.
Yeah, that little thing.
Yeah.
And
Had it tow.
it towed fine, but on really, really long trips, from here out to let's say Colorado or something with New Mexico mountains and things like that.
What happened?
Nothing happened, but that Honda would go, "Hey, are you sure about this whole thing?"
Were your RPMs all the way into the red line?
Yeah, you just felt it. And then what we discovered? We discovered that our trailer hitch was too high. So we were pulling this. So it was like a balloon, like a parachute.
Great.
So yeah. So anyway, well, man, thanks a lot for coming. We really appreciate it.
You know
thanks
what?
A lot.
Like I said, you guys have been so awesome, a big part of my life and the life change. So thank you for
thanks a lot,
all
man.
that you do as well.
Big Doc, part of your life. Sorry.
Yeah. I think I'm going to vacate the space on the couch again, so you can sit next to Finn again.
I don't know. Kind of
So
enjoy
Julie-
this. It's kind of nice to have something meaty I can hang on to.
Oh,
you know?
wow. Yeah, my kid is definitely getting up now.
Break up the marriage. Thank
All
you,
right.
Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, how's that, folks? Dinner and the show. Chris
Right
Shapik
here,
with
right here.
Tiny Industrial.
And the seat's still warm.
All the
He
way
was
down.
right here.
Move over. Let me sit on his man heat. let me sit on that man heat. So,
All right. There.
somebody said just now that there's no audio, but I can hear audio. Did something happen to it?
I don't know. So
All right. So where are we at now?
we are at.
Wow, I can't believe it, folks. We have just maybe about an hour left out of 2 days of this.
I know.
And today, the technical side has been going a lot better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but don't jinx it.
I'm not jinxing it. I just want to applaud you for finally getting your act together. That was
Oh.
really nice.
That's very
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
of you
No,
to say
no.
such a thing.
I just
know what?
want to acknowledge you for finally
I just want you.
doing the research
to
that needed to be
once-
done weeks ago.
You know, why don't you just cook for me? Watch this, and then maybe you have some idea how you can cook good meal for me. How about that?
All right. So this is the Van Life Chef.
In Vancouver, we're going to cook a meal in 5 minutes. We have tenderloin, room temperature, salt, pepper each side, kosher salt. Top of the pan. Pan's already nice and hot. The chopped garlic we're going to get in there. Onion. Pepper. Any of these ingredients can be substituted as well. It's more so just the technique, doing it this way. Some hand-torn kale. Get that in there, start moving it around. Keep the pan full blast the whole time. Take the peeler, just peel the carrot right in there. This is all in one pan. It's nice and quick and easy. You can do it with any type of meat, really, as long as it's the right thickness. Be careful if you do it with chicken. Works great with tofu as well. So we're just going to get this stuff all sauteing. Get my tongs. As soon as you see the veggies start to get a little bit soft, scoop of butter in there. Get a little bit of Parmesan onto the veggies. It's going to help them all stick together. You got to be careful when you're salting it afterwards because Parmesan is already salty, so you only need a little bit. Fresh cracked pepper. What's our time?
2 minutes.
Just mix this up, keep moving it around. Flip your steak. Gonna get that nice sear on it. You can get a bit of the juice from the veggies onto the bottom of that steak. Just gonna let this cook for a little bit. It's a nice, quick, and colorful way to make a meal. Let me know when we're at like 3.5. Starting to see a little bit of color on the vegetables. That's what you want. That's flavor. I need a tiny bit more oil in here. This is just a local tenderloin. I bought a full-size one and then I cut it in half to give me 2 meals instead. The veggies are getting close. The steak's got a nice sear on it. Take it out, let the steak rest. Saute these guys up. A little bit of Parmesan cheese on top of that steak. What's our time?
3.5.
3.5. Perfect. Just gonna keep sauteing this up a bit. Normally I'd let the steak rest for a little bit longer than 30 seconds, but we have to do this all in 5 minutes. I'm gonna bring that over, center the plate. I'm gonna take our nice little veg medley. We have garlic, peppers, onions, shredded kale, carrots, Parmesan cheese, tenderloin steak. I'm gonna hit that again. Some fresh Parmesan cheese. And some cracked pepper. And that's how you make a 5-minute meal. Thanks for letting us cook for you guys, and I hope the festival goes awesome.
Tenderloins.
Wow, 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 wow,
I got a whole
wow.
freezer full here to chew. Oh, yeah.
Guys, go and follow them on Instagram,
Yeah.
Van Light Chef.
You don't have
That
to
looks so
whisper. We got
yummy.
I'm allowed to feel the
Baby,
Oh, I'm back.
don't you be so relaxing.
I'm,
You see that?
I'm just kicking back, just taking it easy. He was a pirate. I was a
No,
lady.
he was a chef.
So
All right, thank you so
anybody see
much,
that?
Sasha and David, for this quick meal, one pan thing. God, that's I'm definitely gonna try that. Okay, next we have Cody and Webb. All right, can you hear me? Hello.
I can't
You
hear
are
you
live.
guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
You are live.
Can you hear us?
Nope,
Can you guys hear
you
me?
can't hear us.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Yes.
Uh-oh,
Yes.
I can't
yes.
hear you. Do I need to do something?
Okay.
We had this problem yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on. Yeah.
Hang on. I'm gonna.
Now you get to see behind the scenes.
Okay, baby.
Scenes stuff.
Talk to him while I'm trying to fix this problem.
So here. Hold on.
I just IG you to fix it. I can hear you. I can hear you. No problem on that.
I'm clicking it on and off. I can't hear you yet.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Tell them to just go ahead and do the tour because people can hear them online.
Oh, that's great. So no. Oh yeah, you want to do a tour? You want to do the tour? You can do a tour now because people can hear you. Oh, he's gone. Okay, let me fix this up. 1 second. All right, so while we try to do this. Oh, is he come back? Is he back? Is he back? Hello. Wait. Oh. Don't do this to me. Okay, now I can't hear you.
Can you hear us? You can hear us.
Okay.
Cool. Great.
Great.
All right. Fantastic.
Okay.
Wonderful.
You want
Wonderful.
to? Can you hear him through here?
It'll be delayed 17 seconds.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead? Do you want to go ahead and do the tour, live tour right now? Yeah.
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 Yeah. If you want to do a live tour of the house, you want to do it now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go. Do it.
All right, guys, just 1 second. Just slightly problem here because he can't hear us, or you can't hear him either. So let's see if I can.
Kill.
Let's see if I can get him. Wait. Can you hear me? People can't hear you.
Cheryl, that's for you.
People can't hear you.
That's my
Yeah.
name.
Just one second. Just slightly problem here because he can't hear us.
Okay, so
Or you can't
we're gonna try to figure this out.
Why were you doing that? Do you know what? We're gonna jump on to something quickly.
Do you
Let's
have this
see.
thing?
Let's see Jessica Rambo and her super talented painting. While we waiting to fix the problem here. How about that? Just one moment.
Okay, so
Let's see Jessica. Why were you doing that? Do you know what? We're gonna jump on to something. Okay, I'm gonna.
My name's Jessica Rambo. I live here on the Painted Buffalo Traveling Studio, and I'm the founder of Painted Buffalo Traveling Studio, which is now a 501c3 nonprofit that provides art education and art supplies and advocacy for veteran artists. So right now we're doing the American tour, and we're stopping in different towns and meeting veterans, giving them art supplies to be able to tell their stories, and advocating in communities for veteran artists that already live there and have chose that occupation as their livelihood to feed and shelter their families. And then also we're doing this thing called the Paint Can Project and giving ammo cans filled with art supplies to veterans that we meet to be able to tell their own stories through art when they're ready. So we do a lot in here. We live in here full time, and we just are so passionate about veterans and the arts. And John and Finn asked me to do a little art class for you guys on how to draw a bus. So I have here my reference picture. These guys, let's see. These guys, you all recognize them, the #1 bus. This is an old picture because Rome is just a teeny tiny baby. And then I have basic art supplies. I just like watercolor paper because I mostly paint rigs that way. But you can literally use any type of paper you want. And, you know, some kind of drawing. I usually start off with pencil, but sometimes when I'm feeling, you know, brave, I just use a Sharpie marker. And I just use my reference photo because most of the time I'm not in a place, let's be brave today, huh? I'm not in a place where I'm next to the rig, so I just use Instagram photos. And you just start off by looking at the photo, and you know, this is mostly just to you know, sit and relax. I know people don't think art is relaxing when they're not very good at it. So I use a lot of what are they called? Coloring books, like adult coloring books. You guys can sit down with your whole family and talk about your day, talk about the adventures that you've gone on, where you plan on going next. I think it's always fun to include kids on these adventures. You know, they have sometimes way better ideas than I do about what they want to see and where they want to visit. So the American tour, my kids kind of just showed me all the places that they saw, you know, in their school books, and I kind of made a route based off of that. And now we're, you know, just driving around the country, meeting veteran artists, giving out art supplies in random places like truck stops and, you know, stuff like that. People, you know, if you're in the bus community, you know, you get stopped in all kinds of weird places, like this parking spot here in St. Louis. I was driving down the road, and I get a phone call. I had lost my wallet, and I thought, oh, someone found my wallet. And I answer the phone, and it's someone that just saw me driving down the road. They looked me up,
and they're a veteran, and they were like, hey, if you need a spot to park, we're building a bus also. Come on by. And so I literally am in their house parking lot, and you know, we've stayed here a few days, and they were amazing, and they're building a bus called the Patriot, and they're also doing veteran related stuff. So I mean, we literally meet people every which way, and man, I mean, there's so many ways that I've met people, and I love this lifestyle. All right, we're at 4 minutes and 40. You think I could draw their bus in 5 minutes? Let's see, hang on. I'm doing their roof deck here. Oh man, so they got some lines. All right, are you ready?
She did it. She did it in
That
5
is
minutes.
amazing. Can
In
you believe
5
that?
minutes.
Golly.
I can't even do like A in 5 minutes. Can you?
That's amazing.
Yes.
Shocked.
Shock. All right. Okay. So now we're gonna go back to some more live for the house tour because we have a technical problem earlier. So let's go and watch that tour right now, and then we're gonna pull them live when we back.
And I am giving you the tour of the s'more. You might recognize our tiny house from the net we have hanging up, or perhaps some of the art in the bathroom. I'm going to start our tour outside, and when we're done during the Q&A, hopefully Cody, who helped me build this, will join us when we go outside. All right, welcome to my backyard. This is the tiny house. As you can see, we shosugi bond this house. That basically means we burnt most of the wood. This is cedar that we have here. We torched the edges. We lightly toasted the sides. And the reason we call this house the s'more is because we think of it as a marshmallow being held over a fire. It used to be all a very light color, and then we toasted that, and the inside is still white. Hence the s'more. And our little catchphrase is less stuff, s'more life. Right now you're in our little back area. This is an Airbnb we have in my backyard. And this is the little area for people to hang out in the back. And you know, if the kids want to mow the lawn, we've got a bubble lawnmower. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure what's in the shed. I built the shed, but I didn't put anything inside of it. That was Cody's job. So if you have any questions about what any of this stuff is, we're gonna have to wait to have him. You can see the sun's taking care of some of the outside of our house, but the inside is still pretty well protected. There's the difference of about 3 years. Anyway, let's keep moving. When our guests enter the tiny house, they come through this gate. They can park out front. Over here we have our little potting shed for the house. This is the entrance to the tiny house. So you can see we've got this slanted roof. And when we come in, we've got our kitchen right away. We've got our range up ahead, a roll-out heater if you need it. We also have a wall-mounted heater that I will show you. There it is. This one keeps the place pretty toasty. This is our little retro fridge and microwave. Let's see if I can back up so you can see the whole place. When we built the tiny house, it was on a slab that already existed in my backyard, and there was a rain cover to protect whatever RV was parked here before we moved here. We had to disassemble that to build from the trailer up, and when we disassembled it, we kept all the wood. We salvaged that wood, cut it into tiles, and turned it into our floor. Here is our floor. Cody is a bit of a shapes and pattern nerd, so after I cut everything up, he came up with a bunch of different designs. We laid them out and decided which one we liked the most. All of this grout is sawdust that we kept, and we mixed it with polyurethane and just, you know, rubbed it all over the tiles and then sanded it all down and then added a polyurethane floor coat on top of this. And that's basically how we made that floor. Threw in a Schluter strip here and added some sort of click-in boards. All right, painting this way, you've got our front door, our kitchen. This is a cement, thin cement layer over an old door that was in my house. So it's just a few cement coats on top of a sort of hollowed out door. We built the cabinetry ourselves, and this is a built-in seat. This seat right here pops up for storage, and this table can pop down just to give you more seating if you want to pull out one of the benches here. I might have to reconfigure this for you so you can see all the things that it does. This is our dining area right here. Let's see if I can get set up. In the dining area, we've got a bunch of things that can happen here. Just to give you an idea of what I was doing here, some of these slide around, this box in particular. So this can become a 4 table, and then we slide it over here, comes back into place. This little thing pops up, I don't know if you can see that. Slides in here. Little tie goes up here, and cushions go back into place. All right, moving into the bathroom here. The walls were made out of lath, pulled out of early 1900s Portland houses, and I salvaged them, clean them up, and turn them into some of our artwork and our walls in here. So we've got this little river scene, the mountains, a sun up there, there's a feather over here. This arrow. We're using the Nature's Head composting toilet. Got this little IKEA thing, sink. It's not a thing, it's a sink. And we've got our 3 light switches, vent, shower lights, and overhead light. And our tiled shower with giant shower head and gray wastewater. And then we've got this sliding door here. Easy peasy. All right, I'll show you some of the other little woodwork details, random stuff that we have here. We've got the Oregon walnut cutout just hanging up. Just very minimal shelving. This actually hides our plumbing, and we can take any of this off, take this wall out if we need to get to the plumbing in the shower. And then over here, we've got another little inlay piece. And up here, another inlay. And then this has been swapped out because one of our Airbnb guests wanted to buy the one that was there previously. So then we can go upstairs. We've got, you know, our little storage down here, and we built these stairs to be sort of low profile. We walk up here, and our bed is the first thing you see. Curtains freshly installed 2 days ago. These curtains have been here, but we needed to get to that one for a long time. And behind me is the net. The net can hold plenty of weight. We've had 4 adults up here before. We usually only have 2 people staying in our tiny house, but when they have 4, you know, we ask people to stay at the edges, but in general, it can hold people just fine. The kids love it. We've got 3 skylights in here. 1, 2, 3. We've got another ladder going up that side to this other loft where people can hang out or sleep, whatever they want to do there. And you may notice our laundry bag hanging there. Because of COVID times, we've had to switch up our cleaning regimen, and we now ask our guests to do a lot of cleaning on their own, including stripping the sheets and all the linens and putting them in that bag for us, so we can just dump it into the laundry. We spray everything down. We ask all of our guests to spray everything down before they leave, so it's pretty clean before we even enter, and we leave the house open for an hour before we come in. And we try to arrange it so there's another hour before our guests come in to stay here. A couple more looks. I'm sitting down on the couch on one end. We've got our cedar ceiling here. It's stained with a white stain. Also shows Sugi Bond, all burned. Then the net, which was from Treehouse Supplies. leadville.com. And Cody had to engineer everything. They're all tied into the studs going around, and then a hardwood on the edge. But it's not just a perfect rectangle. It actually makes a climb. It dips down here and then makes a climb up there because that loft is taller than this loft, because our shower has a step to get into it. So all of our plumbing is inside the tiny house instead of in the floor of the tiny house. In addition to the s'more, we have another tiny house called Little Blue that's in Portland. We also are in the middle of a bus conversion. And we decided that since we did a couple tiny houses and a bus, that we should probably go ahead and buy a van to convert into van life also. That is the tour of the s'more. We will do Q&A now. I mean, not right now because it's earlier. I pre-recorded this. Right now I'm gonna go do some bubble mowing, but right when this ends, you know, after you're watching it, assuming you're watching it when they're playing it live, we'll take Q&A. But if you're watching this later in time, like on YouTube or something like that, you missed the Q&A. You didn't miss the Q&A, it's happening right now. That's confusing.
Can you hear us, Whit?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yay! All right.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Very good.
Gorgeous,
Very good.
gorgeous house. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Amazing
so
house.
it is.
Amazing house.
Yeah, I love when you wrote. On top
Yeah.
of- That's too fun.
So where do you get a net like that?
Treehouse.com. He just said, did you listen?
That's it. Huh?
TreehouseSupplies.com.
Wow. Call it a day. Call it a day.
The only question anyone asks us, that's where you go.
There you go.
Good to see you guys.
Okay. Cool. And the artwork, my wife, the artwork, the woodwork in the bathroom and in the frames and stuff.
How long did it take you?
That's a local artist who does that, or do you do that yourself?
It's me.
He did it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thanks.
And is that something you've done, or is that just something you did for this house? Like,
Yeah.
have you done that style of art before, or did you just say, "Hey, I want to do it for this house"?
Yeah, I had seen people doing stuff like this online and decided I wanted to try it out. And I do some home remodels when we're not working on the tiny house or a bus or a van. And I pull out the wood from, you know, kitchen remodels and bathroom remodels, salvage it. I've got giant piles of it in my garage. And then I make some of these pieces, sometimes sell them on Etsy, sometimes just build them into the houses. But it's kind of a side fun project that I try to add into everything that we work on.
Nice. So if somebody wanted to find those on Etsy, how would they find you on Etsy?
That's a really good question. Yeah, you know, following my
Because you sell them on Etsy?
Following my Instagram is probably the easiest way, but I think it's still s'more.life on Etsy also.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, those were beautiful. Actually, I was like, wow, those are really beautiful. Then my wife surprised me because I didn't think it was the type of style. Because she likes like more real bright white. If you look at our tiny houses,
yeah,
they're all really white, the colors inside.
Yeah.
And I like darker colors mixed with lighter colors.
Yeah.
So I was really, when we were watching the video, she's like, those are so beautiful. And I was like, am I married to you? Okay, yeah. So cool. That's amazing.
We've had, when we were building this, we started with all the walls just being cedar planks. And we knew that we wanted it to be white and slick for, you know, Airbnb. But once we hung up the cedar, Cody and I were both like, wow, this looks like a sweet log cabin. And it was really hard to paint it white. So we ended up painting it, and it had like the wood grain kind of showing through. And I was like, ooh, I like that. So as you can kind of see a little bit of the grains. And And then I ended up painting it one more time, and it was really white. And I was sad that I couldn't see the grain anymore. So I sanded the whole thing down so I could see the grain again. And then I decided, no, it's just too much. It needs to be white. So I repainted the whole thing with my 40-year-old son.
Well, at that moment, do you feel like you want to kill somebody?
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like something you would make me do.
Yeah.
She's like, I want it this way. Nah, I don't want that. No, let's go. We're going back. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
this was our first project together, and we decided that we just wanted to kind of try all the ideas that we had. So there are a lot of things that we probably would, we'd only choose one of those things to put into the next tiny house instead of all of them. For example, all of this cedar plank was nice fencing from a local shop here, and we did all the cutting to make it shiplap. And then we realized we can buy shiplap for really cheap, especially if we're going to paint it white. And then the flooring was another like very long process, which is super cool. But you can kind of find tiles similar to it if you can do it on your own. And then we show Sugibon the whole house. And again, that's one of those things where it's awesome to do, but you have to have a ton of time. So this build was stretched out almost 7 months longer than the build right after it.
Gotcha.
So how many projects that you have now? Like how many houses? All your houses are turned into Airbnb, is that right?
Yeah. So we've tried to keep everything that we build just because we don't really want to sell anything. We like having them. So we have this one. This is in my backyard here in Portland. And then we met someone. Her name is Amanda, and she asked us if we wanted to partner up with her to build one. So we built one in her backyard, and we Airbnb that. And then Cody started working at a wood shop up in Seattle, and a friend of his asked if he wanted to buy a bus from him. So we bought the bus. It's parked in my driveway, and we started working on that. And then once the pandemic hit, I could no longer fly out to Austin to see my girlfriend. So I decided to buy a van, and I'm converting it now, and hopefully we'll be driving it out there soon.
Nice.
So 4 things. So
Yeah.
the busing process, and then you bought the van, and you got 2 tiny houses. Wow, you're an expert, really.
Yeah, if anyone needs, if anyone wants
man.
a bus parked on their property, let us know, and we'll Airbnb it there, because it cannot be on my driveway much longer.
You hear that? Anyone just hit him up. Instagram on small.life. You could have this beautiful bus in your backyard or front yard, and then turn to Airbnb. That's a great idea.
That's amazing. We have a bus that we're doing, but it's like every other project. We've got so many projects going on. It's like we robbed Peter to pay Paul.
Oh yeah.
And with time.
Yep.
It's like the tree house. We cleared all the land out there, had all the materials delivered, and then we started taking materials away from that stockpile that the lumberyard got out and started working on another project.
All right, so tell me about your Airbnb. Now it's up and running again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so at my house, Cody lives in the basement. We've sort of fixed everything up, and we've got 2 separate spaces, and him and his girlfriend, Kristen, live downstairs. And what we did was we kind of hunkered in place for 2 months and just lost all the revenue from the Airbnb, which was really helping keep our property going. And after thinking about it and watching Airbnb write up their cleaning guidelines and just feeling like we were going to be comfortable, we went with their cleaning guidelines, which is pretty straightforward. Clean everything down. What we added to it is we've asked every guest, as I said in the video, to just wipe down everything they know they touched, and then open up the windows, and then put everything in these bags back here, which we can just dump into the laundry, throw that bag into the laundry and wash. But we also wait an hour for everything to sort of settle in here before we come in. Then we wipe down everything that you possibly touch, every knob, every step, every handle. We're in here with our masks, and then we're usually done by 1, and we pushed back our open time to 3. So usually there's at least an hour, if not 2 hours, before the next guest comes in. So it's a good wipe down. We're only in here when we're cleaning, and we feel pretty comfortable with the setup that we have now, because I have 2 kids. We want to make sure that we're not bringing anything in. So
that is really, really good to know. You know,
And
people
that-
can feel safe, you know, go and stay there. So I think that's just really good. Yeah.
That's really nice that, I mean, I know you say, hey, I have your children, but that you're concerned about your guests equally as much. That's really nice. So yeah, well played. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. So
All right. So do you have a question there, or are we saying?
let me see.
Okay.
Cindy Brand, your talent is amazing.
Cindy loves your job.
Shannon Kreider, all the woodwork is amazing. Amazing. I'm seeing another amazing.
Hit him up.
That floor.
Instagram small.live. Hit him up. He can do something really amazing for you with your next tiny house.
That floor is gorgeous.
In the regular house can have you. Oh my God, that cat crackling noise.
I don't know what that crackling noise is.
But anyway, so thank you so much for giving us today. I
Don't know
don't
what
think it's on
caused
your
it.
end. It could be just our end. So
It was
don't
doing
worry
it with with one segment yesterday. We don't know what causes it.
Yeah.
You know, probably Finn doing it. You know, she's
Right.
probably doing something wrong.
Don't blame me. All right, thank you so much, With. So don't forget, people, go and follow them on Instagram, and their Airbnb is up and running. So check them out. Check them out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun. I love watching you guys.
Thanks a lot, brother. Y'all take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Oh my gosh. Do you believe that? You know
Okay.
what? I think they said that they can't see Jessica from Painted Buffalo Traveling Studio when she draw #1 bus photos. So I'm just gonna bring.
Yeah,
that
so
video back.
the art that we had with Jessica Rambo, we somebody said at the end it cut off and you did get to see the finished art, which was amazing. But I think we're gonna go ahead and replay that. But just watch it really quick at the end. Watch it really quick. Watch at the end because really quick she turns around and shows the finished art real fast, and then the
I can
video
pause it,
ends.
I guess.
But we'll try to pause it maybe. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
My name's Jessica Rambo. I live here on the Painted Buffalo Traveling Studio, and I'm the founder of Painted Buffalo Traveling Studio, which is now a 501c3 nonprofit that provides art education and art supplies and advocacy for veteran artists. So right now we're doing the American tour, and we're stopping in different towns and meeting veterans, giving them art supplies to be able to tell their stories, and advocating in communities for veteran artists that already live there and have chose that occupation as their livelihood to feed and shelter their families. And then also we're doing this thing called the Paint Can Project and giving ammo cans filled with art supplies to veterans that we meet to be able to tell their own stories through art when they're ready. So we do a lot in here. We live in here full time, and we just are so passionate about veterans and the arts. And John and Finn asked me to do a little art class for you guys on how to draw a bus. So I have here my reference picture. These guys, let's see. These guys, you all recognize them, the #1 bus. This is an old picture because Rome is just a teeny tiny baby. And then I have basic art supplies. I just like watercolor paper because I mostly paint rigs that way. But you can literally use any type of paper you want. And, you know, some kind of drawing. I usually start off with pencil, but sometimes when I'm feeling, you know, brave, I just use a Sharpie marker. And I just use my reference photo because most of the time I'm not in a place, let's be brave today, huh? I'm not in a place where I'm next to the rig, so I just use Instagram photos. And you just start off by looking at the photo. And, you know, this is mostly just to, you know, sit and relax. I know people don't think art is relaxing when they're not very good at it. So I use a lot of, what are they called? Coloring books, like adult coloring books. You guys can sit down with your whole family and talk about your day, talk about the adventures that you've gone on, where you plan on going next. I think it's always fun to include kids on these adventures. You know, they have sometimes way better ideas than I do about what they want to see and where they want to visit. So the American tour, my kids kind of just showed me all the places that they saw, you know, in their school books, and I kind of made a route based off of that. And now we're, you know, just driving around the country, meeting veteran artists, giving out art supplies in random places like truck stops and, you know, stuff like that. People, you know, if you're in the bus community, you know, you get stopped in all kinds of weird places. Like this parking spot here in St. Louis. I was driving down the road and I get a phone call. I had lost my wallet and I thought, oh, someone found my wallet. And I answer the phone, and it's someone that just saw me driving down the road. They looked me up, and they're a veteran, and they were like, hey, if you need a spot to park, we're building a bus also. Come on by. And so I literally am in their house parking lot, and you know, we've stayed here a few days, and they were amazing, and they're building a bus called the Patriot, and they're also doing veteran-related stuff. So I mean, we literally meet people every which way. And man, I mean, there's so many ways that I've met people, and I love this lifestyle. All right, we're at 4 minutes and 40. You think I could draw their bus in 5 minutes? Let's see, hang on. I'm doing their roof deck here. Oh man, so they got some lines. All right, are you ready?
Do the drawing at the same time. Okay.
That was amazing. So hopefully everybody saw it that time.
If not, I'll
Dale.
pull it.
Hope everybody saw it this time.
Dale.
If then, you know, hopefully it didn't get passed by too quickly for
But
anybody.
also you can
Dale.
go and follow Jessica on Instagram at Painted Buffalo Traveling Studio. Unfortunately, I cannot pull up Jessica here to do a little chit chat with us right now, so I don't know why. I guess that's the same glitch that we've been having at the certain time mark. Okay, there we go.
So
let's say we did it! We did it!
oh my God.
Oh my God! Oh
So
my God, and at the
we
same
are
hour.
coming to the conclusion here of our 2-day free online tiny house festival.
You know what? Before anything else, maybe we should thank our sponsor.
And so we'd just like to, we want to thank our sponsors for this weekend. And then we're going to do our closing comments and tell you folks about stuff that's coming up with United Tiny House Association, the 4 charity tiny house festivals.
We have Georgia Tiny House Festival. You know, the festival in person
Yep.
in Atlanta is coming up in July. Huh? Yeah, you try to whisper at me. You can't just say it.
I'm doing my.
No, you can just say it. I'm gonna pull the things up while you talk. Keep talking.
Oh, but I'm not going to talk over.
No.
Stuff.
Yeah, but it's not going on just yet. Just
Christopher Ives, haha, was only up for like 2 seconds. I know.
Hey guys, don't worry. Just
Dale
go
Betts,
on.
I saw it, John. Are you sure, Dale? You want to?
Jessica actually sent me a photo of the drawing, but I cannot pull in.
Dale Betts said that he saw it.
Okay.
Are you sure, Dale?
Thank you, Dale.
All right. I know. I could have been hitting those natural lights that are packed away in your toilet. Maybe it's getting by you. No, just saying. But anyhow, Finn and I want to thank everybody for coming out. And we want to just take a moment here real quick to thank all of our sponsors. We're going to do that real fast here.
I pressed the wrong button. Just wait until last minute.
No, we were serious. That was fast. So
we want to thank Home Biogas up there.
So put the picture up on your Instagram.
Yes, I will.
Christopher
That's a great idea.
Ives, that's a great suggestion. We will, and we'll put it on the. We'll also put it up on the event, the Facebook event page for the free online tiny house festival. So let me see here. What else going on?
The Georgia Festival.
Kevin Rodriguez, thank you, John and Finn, for 2 afternoons of entertainment. Hey, Kevin, wait until tonight. We're going to get home tonight.
And we're going to sleep.
We're going to put some Luther Vandross on. We're going to put the lights down, light some candles, and my wife's going to look at me and she's going to go, baby, get out of this loft and go wash the dishes. I'm taking a nap. Anyway, so.
That never happened because you never wash dishes. Good grief. So,
we want to thank everybody who participated this weekend. This would not have happened without all the homeowners, the speakers, our sponsors. It just wouldn't have happened without all the help and everything.
How about our main sponsor?
But
let's go and shake them up.
But the
It's totally free. We're just going to be talking about tiny homes, building tiny homes. You'll see it. You'll love it. Can't wait.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, so we're back again. So what's up next for United Tiny House Association? We got 7 minutes, so we'll try to make this quick. This July 11th and 12th in Atlanta, unless they change the rules on us again, the 5th annual Georgia Tiny House Festival is happening in Atlanta at Turner Field in the Gold Lot, just like it's always been scheduled, the same location. This is where the 1996 Olympic torch and Olympic rings are, where Muhammad Ali did that amazing historic lighting of the Olympic torch for the 1996 Olympics. We will be there July 11th and 12th for our Tiny House Festival with new social distancing and health protection protocols implemented.
Yeah, we're going to come up with some system that can keep everybody safe, particularly him, because you can see him if he get the COVID.
You just like poking me really hard with your fingernail. That's what you like doing.
Yeah. You'll be driving a golf cart with the audio, the bubble around you.
So that'd be fun.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then maybe have like a little air blower in there with little popcorny things, like it looks like inside of a snow globe.
Yeah, those are men, and the people.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So seriously,
Oh, Florida.
our 5th annual Georgia Tiny House Festival, July 11th and 12th. That'll be happening. And then our 5th annual Florida Tiny House Festival. It has always been, and it still is scheduled for the weekend before Thanksgiving.
And this year in Orlando.
Once again, Orlando, like last year, November 20th through 22nd. It's our 3-day event.
Yes.
And we're doing that as it stands right now. We're doing it at the same location as last year at Bill Frederick Park in Orlando. So that's coming up. Next year, we'll be doing Florida and Georgia again, and we'll be announcing our additional schedules for next year. Obviously, with COVID-19 and everything being crazy this year, we scaled things back for just our 2 annual events.
But you know
also,
what? We might doing this thing again if I can work out a system that run more smoothly and continuously. But again, this is our first time here, so I just went for it and learn as we go.
All right, and then also now we will be doing this online event as an annual event. That we will be doing. We're just going to figure out different ways to do it, but it will remain a free event. We will always do an annual free online event. It's just the way we're going to roll. Finn and I have always, and I know she doesn't like me to brag, but Finn and I have always, in my opinion, have been people who have come up with ideas first. And we hope, to all the other event organizers out there, we hope that you all will embrace the idea of offering free programs to other people as well. I think it would be really awesome and cool to do that.
Done.
Why? I'm doing it. Also, too, June 20th and 21st in Georgia on our property, our 16-acre beloved homestead, beloved cabin homestead. We have the Come Swing With Us weekend getaway.
We have?
Yeah, it's been up here forever.
Oh.
Golly, yeah. No wonder you haven't been doing anything for it. If you go out to United Tiny House Association on Facebook, go to the event page. We had to reschedule that from earlier this year. Come Swing With Us is a 2-day retreat where everybody can sleep in hammocks out in the woods. We're going to be doing off-grid.
And listen to John all weekend long. You see how relaxing that will be. Okay.
It's Colorado hammock. The price includes a hammock with them providing one of their custom-made, handmade hammocks. It'll be food and drink all weekend. We're going to be doing classes on growing mushrooms, solar.
Mushroom? Like real mushroom or like the other meaning of mushroom?
No, real mushrooms. The shiitake mushrooms. Rainwater collection, just classes all weekend. It'll be a 2-day event from early Saturday morning until Sunday evening with a Saturday night stayover out in the woods. Everybody picks their own trees and get all set up and everything. So if you go out to United Tiny House's Facebook page, go to events, and you can see Come Swing With Us Retreat. It can be either, and this is an adult retreat. It's not a children's retreat, just because we're going to be using all sorts of tools and things out there. It's going to be a dodgy adult thing. It's just that it's not really a situation where children can be running around and we can keep eye on the children. It's going to be hands-on workshop things going on all weekend. So all the information's out there on our Facebook page. And then also the information on our Georgia Tiny House Festival and our Florida Tiny House Festival.
Okay, what's the website?
Our website also is unitedtinyhouse.com, unitedtinyhouse.com. You can find information all out there, and with links with information and things out there as well.
About our social media? If you don't know by now, you will know right here. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, United Tiny House, and
Sharon Kreider, Come Swing With Us. Glad you said hammocks. Hey, Sharon, honestly, the name of the event originally that I pitched to Finn was "We're Swingers, Are You Swingers Too?" And Finn was like, "Nah, that's not happening. Nah, back that out. That's not happening." So,
and also, if you subscribe to our YouTube, please do not unsubscribe. Okay, just stay on because we will try to come up with more things to show you on YouTube. Just try to get all the community together one way or another. We might do another just live interview with individual, some other schoolie, tiny houses, brand conversion, so they can have a platform that they can share the lifestyle with you as well. So just tune in and please do not unsubscribe.
That was cold, man. That was cold. Don't unsubscribe, man. Also, too, if you go out there and check out on our YouTube channel, here we have videos that we're posting of tiny house tours. We have people. We're producing tours of tiny houses, and we have talks on legalities and things, different things in the tiny house community. And
if you want to come and join us and be our guest, just hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or just email us.
Be our guest for what?
For the live. I said that we're going to do more live interview.
Yeah. If you want to be part of our live broadcast, yeah. So you're going to see a lot of new things happening on our YouTube channel. We really haven't done anything with it until just in the past couple of months. You'll see me in my little monkey suit doing.
You know what? I had one question from the email this morning. Somebody asked that they want to build a tiny house in Florida, but they don't know where to start. They want to do it legally. They want to know how they should go about it, who they should talk to, what can they say to the local authority about tiny house and things like that. Do you want to share something quickly before we say goodbye?
Yeah. So if you look on our YouTube channel, there's in Tiny Talks. There's a couple of videos out there on zoning and who to talk to for zoning and things of that nature. So that's a good, quick, easy, basic place to start on learning about who to talk to, who not to talk to, and about zoning regulations. One thing I can't stress enough, and it's just from personal experience of some things that have been going on lately online, is don't believe everything you're hearing online. And don't believe it if it's coming from somebody of authority.
Can they believe you then?
Well, they can believe this. Research things yourself. Learn it yourself. And that's the premise of the videos that I'm putting out there right now. Anybody can say, oh, I live tiny. They just can say that. You need to find out. So you can get land here, or you can rent from me, or you can put your house here. Don't take anybody's word for it. You need to learn it yourself. You need to find out the zones. You need to find out what the codes are. You need to find out. And just because zoning codes indicate something, or just because, there's all these rules and stuff, and we know that you can put a house here, you need to find out if there's any stipulations in that county that specifically say you are not allowed to live in a house on wheels, RV or campers or tiny houses or anything. Because there's a lot of misinformation going on right now, and it's being presented as viable, real information. So learn and know for sure before you commit yourself to a piece of property somewhere and you find yourself out of money and having to move again real quick.
Where can they learn? Just be specific. Like, can they go to the courthouse and
well, I'm suggesting looking at those two videos on our YouTube channel, because they're like 3-minute videos and it gives all that information.
Yeah, I know, but just for a quick one before they need to go change, just in case they can't find a video. Just like the really straightforward.
One way to start is with the zoning department, and you don't want to pick up the phone and call your zoning department. You want to learn what those codes are. Most zoning departments have the zoning information available through their website, or they can email it to you. And then there's ones where you just have to go down and get a copy of the zoning. Also, if you're within city limits within a county, then you're going to need to also know if there's separate zoning rules for city limits, and then also what the counties are. Also, just because this county A and right next door County B, their zoning rules can be completely different from each other. Also, too, you don't want to look at your tax assessor, your tax bill, and see what the zoning classification is on your property or a property, or go to the tax assessor's office online and see what the zoning classification is, because a lot of tax offices throughout the entire United States use a different zoning classification to assess taxes on a property than what the zoning actually is on that property. So that's why I was saying listen to that videos, because there's so much information that I jam packed into those
So I mean, they can
2-minute videos.
Monday morning they can pick up the phone and call the zoning and find out.
I wouldn't do that.
No, okay.
I wouldn't do that because a lot of
Why
zoning
did I went wrong?
a lot of zoning departments don't even know what their own zoning is.
So who should I call?
I would go to YouTube and watch those videos and then learn what your zoning codes are for your properties. That's what I would do first. I wouldn't go and talk to somebody because you don't know who you're talking to. And a lot of people, unfortunately, in zoning departments throughout the United States do not actually know their own codes. And unfortunately, too, a lot of people make the mistake of going to a zoning department and say, hey, are tiny houses legal in our county? And they're going to get somebody's personal opinion instead of the reality. So you need to learn the codes first before you start walking around.
Where can you learn the code?
Go to YouTube and listen to those 2 videos on our channel, and it gives you the information. That's what I would do. I would look at the 2 videos on our YouTube channel that gives all that good information on who to talk to, who not to talk to, and how and where to start researching things. But don't listen to just somebody, even in the tiny house community, even if they're a leader, even if they're part of some tiny house support organization, if they say, this is the way it is, I live here, this is how it is. Don't believe that until you research it yourself.
All right.
Watch the 2 videos. Anyway, thanks a lot, folks. We appreciate y'all coming out. That I'm getting away with talking strong to my wife right now. As soon as the video goes out, she's going to be like,
I'll be like, why don't you just tell them straight away instead of have to go search for the video? But that's why we have a YouTube channel, so you can go and search for the video.
Anyway, folks, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. I'm
Oh my
John.
God.
This is my wife, Finn. We appreciate y'all tolerating us for 2 whole days.
Peace out.
I want to thank my wife for all the hard work she did. Without her, this would have never have happened. She did all the research. She made this all happen. She organized it. She studied it. She figured out all the problems. She troubleshot everything. She organized everything. She did all the late night testing. She did everything, interacted with all the everybody. She did everything but dealt with the sponsors. I mean, literally, that was my only job in this whole thing. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So I thank you very much. You're so sweet. Oh.
So you're going to wash dishes tonight?
No. So
we want to thank all the tiny houses that join us again this weekend. We cannot do it without you. So thanks and thank you again. All right, and everybody who watching us this weekend, I will try to put the video all together in one long giant video and see if I can
clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, clean it up a little bit so it'll be more pleasant to watch.
And I think you should take like the videos too and make a bunch of little ones of each individual house too, because I think you should do that.
All right.
Because you have too much time on your hands. Sticks, anybody, 70?
All right, guys. So that's way over our time by 8 minutes. So thank you again.
Thanks for everything, everybody.
Y'all take care. On Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
And remember, do something big in your world by simply doing something tiny.
All right.
It's totally free. We're just going to be talking about tiny homes, building tiny homes. You'll see it, you'll love it, can't wait.